Hello and welcome to English Flow Podcast. I'm very happy that you are here today, whether you are listening while walking, relaxing at home, traveling, studying, or preparing for work. Thank you for spending this time with me. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most important skills in English learning, a skill that can completely change the way you speak, a skill that helps you sound more natural, a skill that helps you become more confident, and a skill that many learners never truly develop. That skill is thinking in English. Now, before we begin, I want you to relax. You do not need a notebook, you do not need to memorize grammar rules, you do not need to worry about making mistakes. Just listen carefully, allow the English language to flow naturally into your mind, and if you can, repeat some of the sentences after me. Because learning English is not about perfection, it is about progress. Every day, thousands of people start learning English. Some learn quickly, some learn slowly, some become confident speakers, others struggle for years, and many people wonder why. Why do some learners improve faster than others? Why do some people speak naturally after a few years while others still feel nervous? The answer is not always intelligence. The answer is not always talent. Very often, the difference is habit. Successful English learners build simple habits. They create small daily routines, they expose themselves to English regularly, and most importantly, they stop translating every sentence in their heads. Let me ask you a question. When someone asks you a question in English, what happens inside your mind? For many learners, the process looks something like this. First, they hear English, then they translate it into their native language. Then they think about the answer in their native language, then they translate the answer back into English, then they finally speak. This process takes time. Sometimes only a few seconds, sometimes much longer, and during that time, confidence disappears, the conversation feels stressful, words seem difficult, and speaking becomes uncomfortable. But imagine something different. Imagine hearing a question in English, understanding it immediately, thinking directly in English, and responding naturally. No translation, no delay, no panic. This is what fluent speakers do. And today, I want to show you how to move closer to that level. Let's begin with something simple. Many learners think that thinking in English means creating long, complicated thoughts. That is not true. In fact, thinking in English begins with extremely small ideas. For example, imagine that you wake up in the morning, you open your eyes, instead of thinking in your native language, try thinking simple English thoughts. It's morning, I'm awake, I feel tired, I need some water, today will be a good day. These thoughts are simple, but they are powerful. Why? Because they train your brain to connect directly with English. No translation, no extra step, just English. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. It's a beautiful day. Repeat. It's a beautiful day. I feel good today. Repeat. I feel good today. I am improving every day. Repeat. I am improving every day. Excellent. Remember, fluency grows through repetition. The more often you use English, the more natural it becomes. Now let me tell you a story. Imagine two students. Let's call them Sarah and David. Sarah studies English for 1 hour every day. She reads grammar books. She memorizes vocabulary lists. She watches lessons. But she never uses English in real life. She rarely speaks. She rarely thinks in English. And she constantly worries about making mistakes. Now let's look at David. David studies less grammar. He does not know every rule. But every day he listens to English, every day he speaks a little, every day he thinks simple thoughts in English, every day he practices. After 1 year, who do you think speaks more confidently? For most people, the answer is David. Because language is a skill, and skills improve through use. Think about learning to swim. Could you become a great swimmer by reading books about swimming? Probably not. Eventually, you must enter the water. English works the same way. You must enter the language, you must use it, you must live with it. This does not mean moving to another country. Many learners believe they need to live in America, Canada, Australia, or the United Kingdom. But today, English is everywhere. It is on your phone, it is on YouTube, it is in podcasts, it is in movies, it is in books, it is all around you. The challenge is not finding English. The challenge is making English part of your daily life. Let's talk about how to do that. One of the easiest methods is creating an English environment. What does that mean? It means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. For example, change your phone language to English. Many people are surprised by how effective this is. Every day you see words like settings, notifications, messages, update, battery, and download without studying. You begin learning naturally. Another simple method is listening to English while doing everyday activities, while cleaning, while exercising, while walking, while cooking, while traveling. You do not always need to sit at a desk. Learning can happen almost anywhere. The key is consistency. 10 minutes every day is more powerful than 2 hours once a week. Now let's talk about another important habit: listening actively. Many learners listen passively, but their attention is somewhere else. Active listening is different. When you listen actively, you focus, you notice pronunciation, you notice expressions, you notice sentence structure, you become curious. For example, if you hear someone say, "I'm looking forward to the weekend," you can pause and repeat it. "I'm looking forward to the weekend." Repeat, "I'm looking forward to the weekend." Very good. Now use it in a different sentence. "I'm looking forward to my vacation." Repeat, "I'm looking forward to my vacation." Excellent. This is how vocabulary becomes part of your speaking ability, not by memorizing hundreds of isolated words, but by learning useful phrases. Fluent speakers often think in phrases, not individual words. That is why learning phrases is so powerful. For example, "How's it going?" "What have you been up to?" "That sounds great." "I'm not sure about that." "Let me think about it." These phrases appear everywhere in real conversations. The more often you hear them, the more naturally you use them. Now let's focus on confidence. Confidence is something that many learners want. But confidence is often misunderstood. People think confidence comes first. They think they must feel confident before they speak. Actually, the opposite is true. Speaking creates confidence, practice creates confidence, action creates confidence. Think about riding a bicycle. The first time feels difficult, the second time feels slightly easier. After many attempts, confidence grows naturally. The same thing happens with English. Every conversation builds confidence, every sentence builds confidence, every mistake teaches something valuable. And that brings us to an important lesson: do not fear mistakes. Mistakes are not evidence of failure. Mistakes are evidence of learning. Every fluent speaker has made thousands of mistakes. Every native speaker made mistakes as a child. Mistakes are normal. Mistakes are necessary. Mistakes are part of growth. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls many times, but nobody says, "You fell down. You should stop trying." Instead, everyone encourages the child, because falling is part of learning. The same principle applies to language. If you make a mistake in English, keep going. Do not stop. Do not apologize constantly. Do not lose confidence. Simply continue. Communication is more important than perfection. Now let's try a small speaking exercise. Repeat after me. Mistakes help me learn. Repeat. Mistakes help me learn. Every day I become stronger. Repeat. Every day I become stronger. I can speak English with confidence. Repeat. I can speak English with confidence. Wonderful. Now I want you to imagine your future self. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. You have practiced every day, you have listened regularly, you have spoken regularly, you have thought in English regularly. How would you feel? More confident? More comfortable? More relaxed? Of course, the person you want to become is created by the habits you build today. Small habits create big results. 5 minutes becomes 10 minutes, 10 minutes becomes 30 minutes. And little by little, your English transforms. Many learners search for secret methods, they search for shortcuts, they search for magical techniques, but the truth is surprisingly simple: consistency beats intensity. The learner who practices a little every day often succeeds more than the learner who studies for many hours only once in a while. That is why daily exposure matters so much. Even if you feel tired, even if you feel busy, even if you only have 10 minutes, use those 10 minutes. Listen, read, think, speak, hit practice, and keep moving forward. Now let's discuss another powerful exercise that can dramatically improve your English speaking skills. This exercise is called speaking out loud. Many learners spend months listening, many learners spend months reading. Some learners spend years studying grammar, but very few learners actually spend enough time speaking, and that is a problem, because speaking is a skill, and every skill becomes stronger through practice. Imagine someone who wants to become a great football player. Would watching football matches every day be enough? No, watching helps, learning helps, but eventually, the player must step onto the field and play. English works exactly the same way. You can listen to podcasts, you can watch videos, you can study grammar, but sooner or later, you must open your mouth and speak. The good news is that you do not need another person to practice speaking. You can begin today, you can begin right now. One of the easiest speaking exercises is describing your surroundings. Look around your room. What do you see? Try to describe everything in English. For example, there is a table near the window, my phone is on the desk, the room is quiet, the weather looks nice today. The more you do this exercise, the easier speaking becomes. At first, your sentences may feel simple, That is perfectly okay. Simple English spoken confidently is much more useful than complicated English that never leaves your mind. Now let's do a short practice together. Repeat after me. The room is comfortable. Repeat. The room is comfortable. I am learning something new today. Repeat. I am learning something new today. Practice makes progress. Repeat. Practice makes progress. Excellent. Now let's move to another important idea. Many learners believe they have a vocabulary problem. They constantly say, I need more words. I don't know enough vocabulary. I can't speak because my vocabulary is too small. Sometimes this is true. But often the real problem is different. Many learners already know hundreds or even thousands of English words. The challenge is that they do not use them enough. Imagine having a toolbox filled with useful tools. If you never open the toolbox, those tools cannot help you. Vocabulary works the same way. Words become useful when you use them repeatedly. That is why active vocabulary is more important than passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary includes words you recognize. Active vocabulary includes words you can actually use while speaking. To grow your active vocabulary, choose a few useful words every day, then create sentences using those words. For example, let's take the word opportunity. Today is a good opportunity to practice. Learning English creates new opportunities. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow. By using the word several times, you help move it into your active vocabulary. Now let's talk about pronunciation. This is another area that worries many learners. Some people are afraid because they think they have an accent. Let me tell you something important. Having an accent is normal. People all over the world have accents, even native English speakers have different accents. Someone from London sounds different from someone in New York. Someone from Australia sounds different from someone in Canada. An accent is not the problem. The real goal is clarity. Can people understand you? Can you communicate your ideas clearly? That is what matters most. One of the best ways to improve pronunciation is shadowing. Perhaps you have heard this word before. Shadowing is simple. You listen to a sentence and immediately repeat it. You copy the pronunciation, you copy the rhythm, you copy the speed, you copy the tone. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I enjoy learning English every day. Repeat. I enjoy learning English every day. The more I practice, the better I become. Repeat. The more I practice, the better I become. I believe in my progress. Repeat. I believe in my progress. Wonderful. Try this exercise for 5 minutes every day. You may be surprised by how quickly your pronunciation improves. Now let's talk about patience. Patience is one of the most important qualities in language learning. Many learners expect immediate results. They study for a few weeks and wonder why they are not fluent. They listen to a few podcasts and expect dramatic changes. But language learning is a journey. It takes time, it takes repetition, it takes consistent effort. Think about planting a tree. When you plant a seed, nothing seems to happen at first. Days pass, weeks pass, sometimes even months pass, but beneath the surface, growth is happening, roots are developing, the foundation is becoming stronger. Then one day, visible growth appears. English learning is similar. Sometimes progress feels invisible. You listen every day, you practice every day, yet you feel the same. Then suddenly you notice something. You understand a video more easily, you recognize more vocabulary, you speak with greater confidence. These moments are proof that your effort is working, so be patient, trust the process, keep going. Now let's discuss daily routines. Successful learners often have routines, not because they are perfect, not because they have more free time, but because routines remove excuses. Imagine waking up every morning and listening to 10 minutes of English. Imagine spending 5 minutes thinking in English. Imagine reading one page of an English article. Imagine speaking for 5 minutes before bed. These small actions may seem insignificant, but over weeks and months, they create enormous results. Let's create a simple routine together. Morning, think in English for 2 minutes. Afternoon, listen to English for 10 minutes. Evening, read aloud for 5 minutes. Before bed, speak in English for 5 minutes. That is all, a simple routine, a realistic routine, a routine that almost anyone can follow. Remember, success does not come from doing everything perfectly. Success comes from doing the important things consistently. Now let's discuss motivation. Many learners start with excitement. They feel motivated, they study enthusiastically, but after a few weeks, motivation decreases. This is normal, motivation comes and goes. That is why habits are more powerful than motivation. When you rely only on motivation, your progress becomes unpredictable, but when you rely on habits, you continue even when motivation disappears. Think about brushing your teeth. You probably do not feel motivated every day. you simply do it because it is part of your routine. English practice should become similar. Not something you do only when you feel excited, something you do because it is part of your life. Now let's talk about confidence again. Many learners believe confidence appears suddenly. They imagine waking up one morning and feeling completely confident. But confidence grows slowly. It grows through experience. It grows through repetition. It grows through action. Every conversation adds a little confidence. Every practice session adds a little confidence. Every challenge you overcome adds a little confidence. Eventually, those small pieces become something powerful. Now I want you to repeat a few positive sentences. Repeat after me. I am becoming more confident every day. Repeat, I am becoming more confident every day. I am not afraid of mistakes. Repeat, I am not afraid of mistakes. Every day I am improving. Repeat, every day I am improving. Excellent. Now let's imagine your future again. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. You continued listening. You continued speaking. You continued reading. You continued practicing. What would your English look like? How much would you understand? How confidently would you speak? How many opportunities might open for you? Perhaps you could travel more comfortably. Perhaps you could make international friends. Perhaps you could study new subjects. Perhaps you could advance your career. English is more than a language. It is a tool that connects people, a tool that opens doors, a tool that creates opportunities. And every day you practice, you become better at using that tool. That is why your effort matters. That is why today's practice matters. That is why tomorrow's practice matters. Small actions create powerful results. Before we finish, I want to leave you with one final message. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until your grammar is perfect. Stop waiting until your vocabulary feels large enough. Stop waiting until you feel completely ready. The perfect moment rarely arrives. Growth begins when you start. And every day is a good day to start. Speak a little, listen a little, read a little, think a little, improve a little, then repeat tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. That is how fluency is built. One sentence at a time, one conversation at a time, one day at a time. And before we finish today's episode, I want you to remember one simple thing. You do not need perfect English to make progress. You do not need to know every grammar rule. You do not need to speak perfectly every time. What matters most is consistency. Every sentence you read helps you improve. Every minute you listen helps you improve. Every word you speak helps you improve. So keep practicing, keep listening, keep believing in yourself. Even if your progress feels slow, remember that small daily improvements create big results over time. The English speaker you want to become is built one day at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me on English Flow Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow the podcast and come back for the next lesson. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking English every single day. See you in the next episode of English Flow Podcast.